All right, guys, today we are talking about composite functions, and that essentially means um, a combination of transformations. So more than one combined would be a composite function. So it's a term for when a sequence of transformations, should be an S there, take place. So if we reflection point A over so if we reflect point A, man, there's a lot of typos here. Point A over the x-axis, we get A prime, and if we rotate A prime 90 degrees about the origin, we get A double prime. So it has a second parenthesis apostrophe here. The first thing to notice is that we perform transformation in a succession. We continue to label with the primes to show who is the preimage of who. So A is the preimage of A prime is the preimage of A double prime, and so on. So you do them in order. You add in an apostrophe or a little tick each time. So does the order we do them in matter? Yes. Okay, if we don't do them in the order they tell us, we'll get two different pictures. So this one says a translation of 3, so write 3 down 5, followed by a reflection over the y-axis. So here is triangle A, here's A prime, and then here's A double prime. So if I did them in the opposite order where I reflected first and then I went right 3 down 5, I would end up with a completely different picture. Here it says a reflection over the y-axis followed by a translation of right 3 down 5. So this is what I was just talking about. If you reflect first and then translate, this A double prime triangle does not end up in the same spot. So order does matter. So now we're going to try some together. This one says a rotation of 90 about the origin followed by a translation of right 3 down 5. Remember, a rotation of 90 degrees says it's positive, means we're going counterclockwise, so we can go from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. And then it also means that we're switching the order of our coordinates. So here this is 2, 8, it looks like. So we would want negative 8, positive 2 for A prime. C is 7, 2, so we want 2, 7 for C prime. And B is 7, 6, so we want 6, 6, 7 for B prime. Okay, so this would be our first transformation, but now we have to go right 3 and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be C double prime. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B double prime. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A double prime. So this would be our final image, our final answer. And this one says a translation of right 3 down 5 followed by a rotation of 90. So we're switching the order and it should not end up in the same spot. If it does, then that would just be coincidence. So let's start by going 3, 5. So here's my B prime, C prime, A prime. So I just counted those over. All right, and then it wants us to do 90 about the origin. So A and B are going from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. C is going from quadrant 4 to quadrant 1. So this is 5, 3. So we want 3, 5 for A double prime. 10, 1. So we want 1, 10. And then C will end up in quadrant 1. So this is 10, negative 3. So we want 3, 10 for C double prime. So you can see order does matter. We ended up with two different pictures here. Actually, my C doesn't look correct here. So let's see if we can fix that. Oh, I just connected them wrong. Let's fix. I connected it to the origin because it was red, a red dot. Okay, that looks better. So really what it boils down to is we're changing the distance. So especially here, we are rotating and then translating. So we rotated and then move things around. But if we move things around first, then we're changing the distance from here to the origin when we rotate than we would have if we rotated first and then switched around. All right, so this is just a quick rundown of some notation. So we did each type of notation in each section. So like this T is for translation, little r is for reflection, big R is for rotation. And then this little open circle is for composite, since we're doing a composite transformation at this point. So this means it says work from the inside out. And that seems counterintuitive because we read from left to right, but when you're doing these, you're working from the inside out. So triangle ABC will first be reflected over the y-axis and then translated. So after you reflect it, that's when we would have A prime, B prime, C prime that you can translate to get your double prime figure, your second image. Here, we're taking our triangle ABC, and first we're going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. Then we'll do reflection over the y-axis. All right, so this is our transformation notation. So you could be given it either in a sentence form or in the notation form. So here's an example: a rotation of 270 degrees about the origin, followed by a translation of right 9 down 3. So we would put our rotation first, since that's the one they want us to do. That one goes right next to our parentheses triangle ABC. So around the origin of 270 degrees. And then on the other side of our little circle here, we'd put our translation of right 9 down 3. Here, this one says a reflection over the x-axis followed by a rotation of 180 degrees about the origin. So reflection is what we're doing first. That goes closest to our triangle ABC. So R with a subscript of x-axis, and then that is being composite with a rotation of about the origin of 180 degrees. So O is for origin. They could have also given you a different point there, like point X, point A, but O is probably most common for us. So here it says, which transformation would you perform first? Since T, so this is a rotation of 180 degrees composite with a translation of 3, 4, but we work inside out. So we would do our translation first. This one says a reflection over the x-axis and a reflection over the line y equals x. And we would have to do that reflection over the line y equals x first because it's closest to our triangle ABC, working from the inside out. It says create the composite transformation statement for the given description. Given triangle ABC, translate it by -5, 3, followed by a reflection over the x-axis. So that translate they want us to do first, we had to put right next to our triangle ABC, and reflection is a little r with the subscript of x-axis, since that's what we're flipping over. Given triangle ABC, rotate it 73 degrees about O, followed by a translation of 11, 9. So we're doing our rotation first. So we want a big R for rotation. We have origin, O for origin, comma, 73 degrees. And then translation of 11, 9 is second, so it actually goes in the front. All right, so that's the end of our notes for today. You guys are working on a worksheet 11 in your packet, which should be at the very end, pages 37 and 38.